Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Political Talk to JB. I am your host, Julian Boykin, and tonight I am joined by Dr. Wesley Boykin, who is campaigning for mayor in Warsaw, North Carolina. Dr. Boykin, thank you for joining me tonight. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for inviting me to join your podcast. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you for taking the time. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and the position that you're campaigning for, if you don't mind.
Okay, let me begin with just first saying again, I'm glad to be here, and it's really a joy to be interviewed by someone with my last name. So your name is beautiful, I must say. Your last
Thank you.
name.
Likewise, likewise.
Okay, but again, my name is Wesley Boykin. I live in the great state of North Carolina, in the town of Warsaw. Warsaw is located in eastern North Carolina in the county of Duplin. If you have traveled throughout the state, I'm about 30 miles east of I-40, I-95, right on I-40. So it's a small town, but it's strategically located in a very great area that most people across the state would know it. And even before the interstates came through, most people know it because you have to go through here to get to the ocean. I should say some of the best part of the oceans, of the Atlantic Ocean. I am running for the mayor of Warsaw, North Carolina. As I said, Warsaw is located in Duplin County, and it's a small town. There are only 9 municipalities in Duplin County. We have great people, we have great food, big farms, and we also enjoy nature in this part of the state. And I am glad and honored to be running for mayor of Warsaw, North Carolina.
Thank you. As it relates to your economic development plan, can you tell us a little bit about that as far as what do you plan on doing within the first 90 days?
I grew up in this town and then I went away. I've actually lived in 11 states in my career. So I've seen a lot and I know what spiraling economic growth looks like. I know what stagnant economic growth looks like. The growth of Warsaw, the economy of Warsaw is not what it was when I grew up. But that's not atypical. It's typical of many small areas across our nation and in North Carolina. But what I do think that we can do to bring back growth, bring back a stronger economy, is not just looking at jobs, but looking at things for people to do to enjoy the benefits of the jobs that they get. A job growth plan will be something that I will be developing. And I do have the sketches of a job growth plan in my 90-day action plan that I plan to implement if elected. But also, there are other avenues of improving the economy because an improved economy improves the quality of life of people. And when you have a very positive, robust quality of life, people want to move here, people want to build here, and people want to live here. So those aspects together will be driving forces of an economic development plan. Because if you just simply grow jobs, when you're living in small areas, most young people and many people who are at the middle stage of their careers, they enjoy and look forward to enjoying things that larger cities offer. I know that because, as I said earlier, I lived in 11 different states and I've lived in from New York to Honolulu. So I know what social pleasures that people look for. So any economic development plan must focus on job growth and it must focus on activities within the town, within the neighboring area that will make people want and desire to live and build here. Because if we don't, people will come get the jobs, they would take their money to other communities, other counties. So the great focus will be on citizenry development. A great focus will be on mom and pop shops. A great focus will be on other businesses where people can enjoy a night out, enjoy shopping the next day, as well as having finance to fund nice parks, comfortable parks, safe parks, and other walkways and greenways throughout the area.
As it relates to property owners being able to maintain the proper upkeep that's associated with owning a home, whether it's, accumulating, ownership of various things, Christmas trees, lawnmower, lawn equipment, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes homeowners don't have the necessary funds to be able to properly store those. So it may sit on their property, and that can be an eyesore, at times. What is your plan on trying to fix that problem, as it relates to property owners being able to maintain not just the upkeep, but the physical appearance of their property in the city of Warsaw?
There are several avenues of which I've thought about and which I've discussed with community groups as to what could and might be done and might be done easily. One is that we have to look at the existing town ordinance that governs that. Some of them are very, very penalty focused, and that results in hardships on many of our people, our senior citizen, as well as many younger people. We have people in this county that cannot keep up with upkeeps as mandated by the ordinance. And for instance, it could be a senior citizen who has those lawnmowers or may have something under their carport. We have a lot of carports here as opposed to garage. Garages, you can close it down and no one can see what's in it. But the carports are open. They're open air for good reasons, the weather here. And so they may have what the ordinance might deem as unsightly. However, there could be a good reason for it there. Could be, I can't get up or manage to lift and move things. So we have to tighten our ordinances and make them more people friendly, all people friendly. And they cannot be penalizing folks for something that's not an enduring neglected event. So we have to look at the ordinance, and our ordinance have to be sensible, and the fines associated with that have to be people friendly as well. We have a great county senior services department. So this can help our seniors with working with them to ensure that we understand at the town level, the city level, ordinance that serve our citizenry well. Our ordinances should be congruent with the expectations and the goals of the county, which are already in line with services offered by the state as well as our federal government in terms of grants. And we can also ensure that our departments work with citizenry with a level of respect that we also would want someone else to treat us. So I simply say we must root our governance structure in Warsaw within the golden rule and never forget that, and never force younger people who may have inherited property, that might have problems associated with upkeep over time. They've inherited these properties, and we might have people currently living in properties that might have neglect, wear, and tear. And we cannot have an ordinance that will force people, as we currently has, to make a decision to tear down, destroy, or burn down my property because I just can't keep up with these fines and penalties that the town is now forcing upon me. And yes, we've had people to make those decisions to burn down, to destroy in a controlled way rather than deal with the bombardment of penalties and in many cases harassment by officials. And so to work with citizen group, to work with staff, to work with our legal team to make sure ordinances are all people friendly, not just the elderly, not just the young, but all people friendly, and that we seek to build up rather than tear down.
Thank you. As it relates to, the grading of the of property structures that the city maintains. When we talk about when it rains, when that rainwater doesn't have anywhere to go because the proper grades aren't put in place for the proper drainage system. And so it's a lot of time that water backs up. So when we talk about maintaining the roads and ditches
I think we
and things,
frozen.
can so when we talk
I can hear
about
you now. We froze for a bit.
okay, when we talk about maintaining like property, the property roads, the ditches. So when it does rain in Warsaw, like right now, we're supposed to be expecting a hurricane on the East Coast. So Warsaw may get some rain. So what is your plan on making sure that the proper structure is put in place so when it does rain, that rain can run off like it's supposed to and not sit and create floods and things of that nature?
That's a major problem here. I've owned this current structure, this house, for about 14 years, long before I moved back permanently. Each visit during the hurricane season or the rainy season, I would take pictures of the floods. Literally, one hurricane came, I think it was Matthew, I can't remember, but I was here at the time for about 4 months. And the flood came about 20 feet from my door. I can look straight out at the church. There's a large First Baptist church across from me. And from their stoop to about maybe 10 feet from my house, it was a lake. And in between there's a street. This happens all over. The drainage system has been neglected for years. The cleaning of ditches have been neglected for years. Roads will wash out, and they have washed out. Mosquitoes become a problem, and other situations associated with that. Keeping the ditches clean and not having them clean, maintaining the grass within the ditches, and the flow of water, rainwater. We have in our water bill, and we are one of the few municipalities that do that, a rainwater fee. But we see no repairs every year to the roadways, and we don't know how that money is being used. Transparency in the use of money, first of all, it's going to be something that we will restore. Even if we never had it, we will build. We will have a rotating schedule of how to maintain streets. And the reason I say rotating is that currently the city council, the town council appropriates $63,000 to the upkeep of the community in those areas, $63,000. That's basically the budget for a number of years. That amount compares to a for-profit gym that we operate, and health is great, health is fine. And I love to invest in that. But that endeavor, that project gets 4 times the amount of money than the $63,000 appropriated for the upkeep of the streets and in waterways, the drainage in our town. I'm not saying that the gym doesn't require that, but I am saying that $63,000 is a disgrace because there are certain areas that have been neglected historically, and the $63,000 simply suggests that I'm going to take care of everything community-wide in a patchwork manner. You get a pothole, I fix it. You get drainage, I'll take care of it now. And I'll do that forever. And 20 years from now, as I told the current town, the Board of Commissioners for Warsaw, that if you continue in a patchwork type format, 20 years from now, those who are here will be complaining about the same waterways and the spillage and the floods in their yard. So we need to increase the amount of money, first of all. And it should be citizen over private industry, because we do have a Parks and Recreation department separate from that gym, and they do a lot of things. So lack of healthy activity isn't the problem. Is how we appropriate for certain areas and we don't in other needed area. So what I have suggested is that we need a prioritized, based upon need list of items that need to be budgeted, and we need to rank order once we prioritize the list by need, high, medium, and low. And then within each category, we rank those. And the money is targeted that. And as one move off the fix and repaired list, they move to the bottom, along with any new items that might come up in the next cycle. But then we rotate those up. And if we ever need to reprioritize, that's all in well, but we are taking care of the needs as we have determined in some type of measured way, as opposed to funding the way we've always done, and a new item come on that we feel, think, and like is a good idea, and now they become the priority, and we forget, and the other ones still remain, because we have had citizens at the same meetings where I have spoken to say that we've had these problems for over 40 years. Unfortunately for us, those problem areas follow similar patterns to those neighborhoods look like neighborhoods where people like me and other people looked. But interestingly, the demographics have totally flip-flopped. But the patterns of service have remained the same.
Well said. When we talk about the sewage system problem in Warsaw as it relates to clean air, because they kind of go hand in hand to a certain degree.
Yeah.
We
And we do
look at the
have
sewage.
problems in both.
Correct, because your sewage system can spill over to where not only does it affect the presence of Warsaw, but it may be in an area where people may walk by and they're having to smell that. When we talk about clean air in Warsaw as it relates to your farm animals that you have, particularly like hogs, for people watching this, if you've never been around hogs, it's a very particular smell. It never leaves you. I don't care how old you get or where you live. You know the smell of slop, as we say, Dr. Boykin. It's a very acquired taste, and it sticks with you. So when we talk about that in Warsaw, what is your plan on trying to fix this sewage problem that we have, as well as making sure we can maintain some clean air for people?
The clean air is what I want to speak on first. But the source of our problems are hogs, poultry, chickens, turkeys, animals. Duplin County, and I hope your listeners look this up, fact check. Duplin County has more hogs. Duplin County, North Carolina has more hogs than any county in the United States of America. And that's a little bit hard sometimes to grasp, because we're in North Carolina. It's only about the 8th or 9th most populous state. And Duplin is just one of 100 counties in North Carolina. We're on the East Coast, scarcely populated, because most of the people live in the Piedmont region of North Carolina, and North Carolina protects its coastline. So we don't have large cities in eastern North Carolina, even though we can get to others very closely. So if you have sparsely populated people, that means you got large farms. And because of the changing agricultural industry in our country, we shifted from plant farming, tobacco, corn, soybeans, even though there's some still here, to animal farming. So agriculture has shifted, but along with that, we we grew exponentially with the production, the raising, the preparation of hogs and chickens and turkeys and other animals. So along with that, when you're raising them, yeah, you do have a unique smell. We used to have hogs in the backyard that we were raised to eat growing up. So I know what slop is. I know what the smell is. But now multiply that by 300, 3 million, 30 million animals. Because that's the magnitude of animals. Just multiply it from your backyard now in an area of a small geography. Even in neighboring counties do not have as many animals as we do. And we have those companies, those production companies that processes those. So you in Alabama and Mississippi and California can have hogs and chickens to eat for dinner. Those factories, those processing plants lead to waste, excess waste. And at this point in Warsaw, our wastewater, our sewage treatment facilities is way over capacity. So much so that we've been fined hundreds of thousands of dollars that we know of, that we were able to secure. First of all, that's another area to work on, transparency to the public, but that we are able to find out from the Department of Environmental Quality on our own. And that is our state name for Environmental Protections Agency at the federal level. So we've been fined hundreds of thousands of dollars because of spillage into the waterways. The sewer system is over capacity. The big industries, production companies are spilling the sewer. The sewers come in, it goes over, and it rolls over into the waterways, the streams, and all waterways go downstream. Now, from Department of Environmental Protection, on words, their own written words and spoken words, it has already damaged wildlife. It is not safe for any wildlife downstream, fish, deer, and other animals that drink it have died, and it's not safe for any city, municipality that uses those streams downstream from us. So it's a big problem. You have to start it with the policies are already there. They're strong ordinance, and they're not set by the town. They're set by federal government. They're set by state government. We just have to have the wherewithals to follow, regardless of any conflict of interest. And if you accept the job from one of the offending corporations, you knowingly accept the job of one of the knowingly offended corporations, you are making the decision that is in violation of your oath. That's the situation that we have. Even though you are free to work any place you want, but to the public's eye, it appears to be a great conflict of interest. So we minimize conflicts of interest with offending organization. We hold them accountable to the law that is set before us at our state level and federal government. And we make sure that staff, particularly the town city manager that we hire, the commissioners will hire, uphold the letter and the spirit of any law, any ordinance that we have taken the oath to uphold. And we don't have to recreate new ordinance as it relates to spillage and harm in our environment, including human life and wildlife and plants. We don't have to recreate. We just have to have the wherewithal to uphold the law in spirit and in letter.
Well said, sir. If people want to make a donation to your campaign, ask additional questions, how can they get in contact with you?
They can call me directly at my cell number, and that is area code 202-390-8928. If you text, please include your name, or if you choose to dial, text your name first. And you can always get me at my email address. It would be answered by me or someone else on a regular basis. By regular, I mean every 2 or 3 hours. And that is WESBOY, the first 3 letters of each name, westboy at att.net. att.net. And I will be able to respond. I'm very interested in communicating with people who may have had similar experiences, who may be working to improve the economy of an area that's very similar to ours, and also a keen interest in your efforts or any recommendations or suggestions of how to build a strong citizenry advisory group in every work endeavor of town and city management.
Last question, sir. Why should the people of Warsaw, North Carolina vote for you as their next mayor?
In my estimation, that's a simple answer. And oftentimes we vote according to party. But in municipal elections in North Carolina, they're nonpartisan. However, we know everybody is a member of a party. You can't overlook that. So when you look at a side-by-side comparison, an honest side-by-side comparison of my experiences, my professional, my academic, and my community commitment to improvement and my understanding of process improvement, and you compare that to any other candidate, the difference is very stark. And my track record speaks for itself of success, of improvement. And I think if you want, and I think the citizenry do want, an improved, better Warsaw, not just improvement for sake of improvement, but to make it better, a more robust economy, a place that we really are proud to say we are on the move. We can do that. And I can do that. And I have a track record of doing that. So in my estimation, it's easy. I'm the most qualified. I have the experience of professional leadership, and I have the personality that can relate to people at all levels, in all races, and in all sectors of our community. And I've just lived those experiences as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Wesley Boykin, running for mayor of Warsaw, North Carolina. Dr. Boykin, thank you for your time and best of luck to you in your campaign.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your inviting me to join you. Thank you.